Hi everyone, in today's video we'll be making green dhokla. So let's look at the ingredients we'll need to make this. You'll need 1 cup of fine semolina, half a cup of yogurt, some salt and water, sugar, coriander leaves, juice of half a lemon, some curry leaves, mustard seeds, a 1-inch piece of ginger, fruit salt, and a couple of green chilies. Firstly, for the batter, we're going to make the liquid portion. So I'm grinding together some ginger. I'm using an 1-inch piece here along with 3 chilies. You can adjust this according to your taste if you want it spicier or less spicy. Follow this with some curry leaves. I'm using about maybe 6 to 7 leaves. I'll put exact quantities in the description below. Followed by some yogurt and half a lemon. So you want to make sure you don't get any seeds in the actual blender or grinder, whatever you're using. You can see here I got quite a few in there, and I do take them out with a fork, but I missed 2 and I didn't realize until I've just started editing this. So I've eaten it, but I'm still alive, so there's no harm. Add a little bit of water as well, just to help the grinding process. Then add a couple of coriander leaves and sugar, and then blend this together until it's nice and smooth. You don't want any bits in it, otherwise you'll just get bits in your dhokla and we don't want that. Once everything's nicely ground, you want to add this into your 1 cup of fine semolina. You could use any semolina you have. I just prefer using the fine semolina because the texture of the dhokla come out really good. I've just added a teaspoon of salt. You can add salt to your taste, but just remember we will be adding fruit salt later on, which is also a little bit salty, so just take that into consideration. When you start mixing in the liquid with the semolina, make sure it's nicely incorporated before you add your water, and add your water in stages. I added water maybe 2 or 3 times until I got the desired consistency. You don't want the consistency to be like a cake batter. You want it to fall from the spoon sort of in clumps, so you'll see in this next clip what I mean. And it's quite satisfying just mixing this in a circular motion. And here's the consistency you want, so you can tell it's not pouring, but it is falling from the spoon. And this is the perfect consistency we want. Once your batter's ready, you're going to let that sit for 10 minutes and grease a steel tin or cake tin and add some oil into your batter. I'm using around a teaspoon, and your fruit salt. I'm using a sachet here which is 5 grams, but you can use a teaspoon if you haven't got any sachets. The is going to react with the lemon juice in the batter, which is going to make this extremely frothy, which will give us the spongy texture in our dhokla. Mix this really fast in one direction and you're going to see how light and airy this batter gets. Now it's ready to go straight into the tin, and tap the tin so the batter spreads evenly throughout, and then it's ready to go into our steamer. The steamer I'm using for this is just a pan which I filled with hot water, and then there's a steel ring inside so I can place this cake tin on top. You don't want the water touching the pan, but you just want the steam to sort of escape on the side so it steam cooks evenly. And here it is, so you can see what it looks like. We'll cook this for 20 minutes on high heat, and this is a perfect amount of time to cook these. And while we wait, we'll get the ingredients ready for the tempering. So what I'm doing here is cutting the chilies lengthways, and for the longer ones I'm just cutting them in half as well, or you could even chop them the other way, just depends on your preference really. Or you don't even have to use chilies if you don't want any spice, but when we temper them they'll taste really good. And here I'm using a couple of curry leaves as well. This is a must because the taste and aroma from these are amazing. So it's been 20 minutes, and to check if they're cooked I just put in a knife and you can see it's clear, so these are perfect. I've moved this onto the side and I'm starting to do the tempering. I'm using 3 tablespoons of oil here. It might seem like a lot, but I think it's the perfect amount because the oil will seep into the dhokla and make them nice and moist. We'll firstly add in the mustard seeds. I'm using around 2 teaspoons here, and you're going to wait until these crackle, and when they begin to crackle add in your curry leaves and chilies and let it cook for like less than a minute and then turn it off. And this is what the crackle sounds like. Carefully take out the dhokla from the steamer and place it on your worktop, and we're going to add the tempering straight on top. The oil is gonna seep into the dhokla after a while, so once you've added the tempering, let it sit there for a while until it's nicely absorbed into the dhokla. I'm just spreading everything with a spoon so it's evenly incorporated on top, and to make sure there's no like clumps of oil in like one area. I'm also garnishing the top with some coriander leaves. My advice would be to garnish it later with the coriander leaves after you've cut it, because once I started cutting the dhokla, the coriander leaves just kept moving off the plate, so that's something I would do next time. So cut your dhokla first and then add in the coriander leaves on top. Also, before you start cutting the dhokla, make sure you've left it to set for like 10 minutes. This will make sure that the edges are nice and neat. As you can tell here, there's no clumps forming, which is usually the case when you cut dhokla when they're really hot. Depending on how you make dhokla, they're usually yellow or white. Because of the batter, the liquid part of the batter that we made, these turn out a light green colour. And I made another plate of these and took them to my family, and everyone enjoyed it. So please try this recipe out and let me know what you think. I'd love to know if you guys enjoyed it as well. You can just see how nicely they come out as well. They're just the perfect size and shape that you want from dhokla. So please try it out, and here's a close-up of what they look like. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and definitely try this recipe out. Please like this video, comment on the video of what you want me to make next, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!